In this video, we're going to demonstrate the operation of TAELeads.com. This is a custom web-based data administrative system that's going to handle all the information associated with the operation of the Tucson Association of Executives. We're going to introduce the system to you in 3 phases. Today we're going to talk about phase 1 of those 3, and this will include all the information about people, the representatives of the companies themselves, and then of course the leads. You can access TAELeads.com from any internet connected device, a desktop computer, your laptop, tablet, any device with a browser. You can use Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, or any other internet browser. The address is TAELeads.com. You'll see the login screen and the username and password fields, and then of course the main menu. Here is our login screen. We're going to fill in the username. We're using Bart Blue as our example user, and the default usernames will be your first initial of your first name followed by your last name. We'll inform everyone what their password is going to be. We'll fill that in and then click Login, and we'll be at the main menu. The main menu, as you can see, has 5 areas: the people, companies, leads, my profile, of course that's your profile with your contact information in it, and then of course a button to log out. Here we see that we're logged in as Bart Blue, and it reminds us what version of the program is in use. We're going to start by editing my profile. That's the first thing you're going to want to do when you go to use the system, to make sure that your contact information is correct, and also to set your own password, change from the default password that you've been supplied to one of your own choosing. While we work on my profile, we'll be learning how to edit data in the system in all the different areas. We can use a tab or a mouse. You'll see some error messages, so you'll understand when the system is telling you that something else needs to happen, and the update and cancel buttons in Edit. We'll click the My Profile button, and that will bring up the profile screen. Of course, because you're logged in, it's going to show you the profile of your information. All the data in TAE Leads is displayed in tables like this. Here you only have one row or one record of data because we're only dealing with the contact information for one person. But the data is displayed in columns with headings to tell you what it is, and an edit button here on the left that will allow you to modify the data. We'll click Edit, and an edit form opens up. It slides down in place right underneath the data you're looking at, and here's all the same data broken out in fields for you to edit. You can use the mouse to select from one field to the next, or you can use the tab key to move from one field to the next. Some fields are required, for example first name and last name, and you know that because there's an asterisk next to the field name. If for any reason you accidentally left the required field blank, you're going to see a message like this that says first name is required, explaining to you exactly what the issue is. We'll go ahead and put that back in. And as soon as we move away from the field, that error message will go away. Everything else here is pretty much self-explanatory until we get down to change password. And of course, this is where you're going to set your own password. If you leave these blank, nothing will change. You'll still be using the same password that you used before. But as soon as you enter a new password, and repeat it, If I now click Update That new password will take effect, and the next time you log into the system, that's the password you'll use. The system does double check to make sure the passwords match. Notice I go to update. Instead of closing the form, we now see a message that says entered passwords do not match. Try again or remove entries. We're just going to cancel. Again, of course, at the bottom, update and cancel. Update saves your changes. Cancel leaves things the way they were before. On every screen in TAE Leads, there's a button to go back to the main menu. Main menu and My Profile. Let's take a look at the People screen. Of course, this is a list of all the people associated with the organization, mostly the representatives of the different companies. The data, again, is presented in a table, columns, rows, and pages because there's a longer list of data. And we're going to look at how you sort, how you search, you can filter, or group the data, all of these ways of finding what you're looking for, displaying it in a convenient format for you. Here's our People screen, and let's start by looking at what data is shown on the screen. Of course, for each person we have the contact information, first and last name, address, city, state, zip, phone numbers, and email. All of that is the same as in the profile, so you can go to My Profile and update that at any time. The rest of the data includes the company that the person is affiliated with, their title, their person type, which is almost always going to be representative. They're the representative of that company. But we also have some admin people who are not actually representatives of a company, such as myself and Sam. The other information includes the date that this representative joined, their status, which again is almost always going to be active, but could be inactive for an older member, and the date that that status took place. Because there are a total of 101 people listed here, we're seeing 20 on this page. And if we look down here at the bottom left, page 1 of 6, there are 101 items altogether. You can jump to any page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can go backwards and forwards a page at a time, or you can choose to see all of it in one list and then just scroll down through that whole list. The headings, of course, show what's in each column of data. You can also rearrange things. For example, here, almost all the addresses are broken onto 2 lines because of the width, but we can adjust that width just by pointing at the little dividing line right here and just slide it over, and now there's plenty of room for that. We're not really using address 2, so we'll make that smaller, and so on and so forth. You may be familiar with this from using Excel. It's very similar. Okay, let's look at how you find someone. Of course, right now you can see it's sorted by the name of the company alphabetically. You can sort by any of the fields. If I simply click last name, now you see it's alphabetical by last name. I can also search just by typing in all or part of a name or word, and it'll find it. Here's the little X to clear that search, goes back to everybody. Searching is not just by names. You can search for any text anywhere in the data set. For example, we know there are a couple of companies that have to do with glass, so we'll just type glass into the search, and there are 2 companies with the word glass in their title. That can be a phone number you're searching for. Here you see it's showing the text glass in an email. Any text that you see on the screen, the search will find it. Another very useful technique is filtering. For example, here we have people that live in different cities. If we click the little arrow next to the heading city, we see all of these different cities listed here that appear in the data set, and we can find any that we're looking for. So let's look for Corona de Tucson. Let's go back to all. Here's somebody that lives in Sahuarita. Again, back to all. You can filter on any field. Here are people of different types. Let's look at only the honorary people. There's our list. Let's look at administrators of the system. There are 2. And we can leave all of those out and look only at representatives. And now if we look down here, we see there are 86 instead of 101 listed, because we're excluding the honorary and the admin. We'll look at one more way of choosing what data you're seeing and how it's arranged, and that's grouping. You notice the gray bar, drag a column header here to group by that column. Let's use type as our example. We grab it by clicking and holding and move it up to this bar, release, and here we see that there are 3 types, and we can expand each of these lists. There's the admin people, there's the honorary, and most of the people, of course, are in the representative group. The next key set of data you can look at is companies. It's very similar to people. It works in exactly the same way, but it's showing the data about companies instead of about the representatives. The company data includes, of course, the company name, the classification, a business description, which can be unlimited text, spotlight, again, can be unlimited text, a URL for the website for that company, the type of company membership in TAE. You can see there are basically just 2 types of company memberships, member and honorary. Of course, the contact info, addresses, city, state, zip, phone, the date they joined, status, again, can be active or inactive, and the status date of when that status was set. Manipulating this exactly the same as people with filtering, grouping, searching, etc. We can see there are 89 items. We can look at the entire list by clicking all and then using vertical scrolling to see the whole list alphabetically. And now let's talk about the part of the web system that you're going to interact with the most over time. And of course, that's the leads. You're going to be able to enter new leads. You can look at all the leads that you have sent or that have been sent to you. The system includes information of the date of the lead, who it's from, of course, and who it's to, the type of lead, and detail any amount of text to explain exactly what the lead is, who the person is to contact, what business, what they might want. And then we also would like you to reply to leads after you've followed up on them. And that includes data fields such as the result of the lead, whether or not you did business, the value of the lead, if it has a monetary value that you can assign, and also the details of the result of your follow-up to the lead. Let's take a look at the lead screen. The biggest difference on the lead screen is that there are 2 tables. Because we're logged in as our example user, Bart Blue, it's showing a table with the leads from Bart Blue, leads that he has sent and created, and leads to Bart Blue that were created by other members and sent to Bart. The fields in each table are the same. Lead date, the date the lead was created, who it's from, who it's to, the type of lead, which includes referrals, ongoing, and new business are the choices. The detail of the lead, which again can be as much text as you wish. The field will expand to include all the text. The result, again, there are several choices. The dollar value of the lead, that's optional to fill in. And the result detail. Now, a lead that Bart sent, you would assume that the value and result detail are going to be filled in by the person who received the lead. In this case, it's William Addison. And here's the leads to Bart Blue. Now, notice in the left columns you have command buttons. For leads from Bart Blue, there is a new button. This is where you're going to create a new lead from you, the user who's logged in, to whichever other user you select. In the leads to Bart Blue column, the leads you've received, you have the same edit button. There is no new button since these leads are sent to you, created by someone else. And you have a button that says reply. Both of these are emails. Email send in the case of leads you've created, and email reply in the case of leads that you've received that you're going to follow up on. And each of those will send an email with all the details. I'll illustrate that in a minute. Let's look at creating a new lead. We just click the new button, and here's the form. Pretty straightforward. Lead date is filled in automatically with today's date. Of course, you can change that if you need to. Who it's from, because we're logged in as Bart Blue, it's filled in. Who it's to. Now you can scroll through this list or simply start typing. And choose the person you want. Type of lead, here are the choices: new business, ongoing, and referral. We'll call this one new business. You'll notice that these first four fields and the detail all have an asterisk next to their name. Those fields are required for you to save the lead. So we'll type in some text for the detail. The result value and result detail we would expect to be filled in by the person we're sending the lead to when they reply. So we'll just hit update and it appears on the list. You'll notice that by default the list is sorted in reverse chronological order. In other words, the newest lead you've entered is at the top of the list. But all of the leads historically will be on this list, so you can go back and look at anything you want. And of course you can edit if you need to change some of the information in the lead. When I click send, it's going to send that lead through the system's email to John Carson at the email that he has in his profile. I'll show you examples of what those emails look like. When Bart wants to respond to a lead, he's going to click edit, and now he can fill in the result. These are the choices: did business, possible, future, rejected. A dollar value if he wants to assign one, and again an unlimited amount of text for the detail. Let's say that he did do business. Value was really good. And the details of what happened. That completes our reply to the email. We'll click update, and those are filled in. Now let's take a look at what those emails are going to look like. Again, a new email, we would create it by clicking new, fill it in, and then click send to send it to the person that it's to. The emails that you've received, or the leads that you've received, you would click edit, fill in result value, result detail, and then click reply to send it back to the originator. Here's what a new lead looks like in an email. The subject line of the email tells us that it's a lead from TAE and the date that the lead was created. It always goes through the website's mail system, so it's always going to show that it came from postmaster@mailer.taeleads.com. But it also shows right here in the body of the email which member it's from. The address that it's to, of course, is the person that you filled in as to when you created the lead. And here it tells us what type of lead. It's a new business lead from Becker, Dave to Bart Blue. Here are the details. Again, this can say whatever you need. The result value and result details are not filled in yet. And here we see what the reply to a lead looks like after it's been followed up. And the result value and result details have been filled in before the reply was sent. Again, what we've shown you is phase 1 of the system's implementation. In phase 2, we're going to have committee lists and mailing lists. That's, of course, a list of who's on a committee, and then the mailing lists are custom lists. Any user can create their own list containing whoever they want with any description they want for later reuse. And then the ability to create custom emails and send them to any one of those lists, to any committee, any combination, individuals, completely flexible. In phase 3 of the system, we'll be adding a lot of administrative capabilities, keeping track of meetings, attendance at those meetings, other types of events. There'll be multiple reports. We will have a member forum where we can have posts and replies on any topic, and also administration of dues.